do for a living? I teach 8th grade science that I've been teaching for about 25 years.
I'm in real estate and construction. We actually met at an AA meeting.
We have 2 of our kids, but then we also have Kenny. So we have Kenny, who's 22, Ian, who's 22, and Avery, who just turned 18.
And Kenny, who's 22.
Who's 22. Kenny started becoming a regular in the house. And we saw him on a regular basis every day after school. He would come home and play, he would come home on the bus. He was with us all the time.
Well, really, our house was kind of the house that all the kids in the neighborhood come to. So we had an open door policy for all the kids, so all the kids hung out here.
Kenny moved in here. Kenny kind of moved in when he broke his ankle in high school, when they decided to jump out of a moving car over by Chipotle, and he broke his ankle. And so we had somebody living here to help with the kids at the time, because I was working full-time, Lee was. And so Kenny stayed up in Ian's room. So kind of from that point on, and then Kenny's mom was getting sick then, and so he kind of just stayed after that. 9th, 10th grade, right around 9th, 10th grade, right around there. And he was welcome here, and I remember talking to his mom saying, you know, we've got somebody full-time, because she was still working, and he, you know, so he kind of healed here, and then I think he knew that it was the right place for him to be. I do think living away from his family at times has been difficult for him. First, there's an ethnicity issue, and Kenny and I have spoken with that quite a bit, actually. And it's actually made me quite aware, at school especially, be willing to be a little more brave about having conversations with kids, especially in the area where the school that I work in is a really diverse school. So it's been really beneficial for me. But for Kenny living here, I think that there's been times where it's probably been pretty difficult. He's not indulged in the family traditions that he's used to, or that his family has. He doesn't necessarily know those because he hasn't really lived with them. He has a brother who he really does not connect with, and his mom who's sick, who I know he goes to see, but again, she can't be physically there for him for those things in his life that that we take for granted. He does have a godmother who he's very close with, that we don't know her, but we do get to hear bits and pieces of the life that he has together with them, which is really nice for him, because we can't fill all of those family things that you have from your background, that you've got your grandfather, and you have this. We don't have that for him. So for that, it's got to be hard for him.
So Kenny spends almost all of his time in the studio. He's down there. He's up. So he works with me, and he works construction, and he's working early, so he's on the job at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm usually out of the house by 5 at the latest, typically 5 or 6 o'clock sometimes, if I'm running late. And lots of mornings, Kenny's already working before he goes to work. He's downstairs in the studio doing something and coming up, and just, and then he comes home, he showers, and he's back down the studio, and so that's where he lives.
I'm Kenny, and this is my life.
I'm searching for me and peace, love, and streets, and happiness, and peace. And now I'm mama crying down and sighing. Why am I? Tell me where you been. I've been working, I've been stressing, I've been thinking about my mama crying. Now I'm crying, mama sighing. Searching for me, peace, love, happiness. Me, peace, love, happiness. Searching for me, peace, love, happiness. What? Searching for me, peace, love, happiness. Feeling weak. Searching for me, searching for peace, love, happiness. While I'm weak and I can't eat. I'm searching for me, searching for peace, love, happiness. While I'm weak and I can't eat. See, I can't sleep. I'm dealing with anxiety. Tell me where you been.
That's definitely dunkable.
All right.
Mommy, I need to charge my phone.
Me too. Cause I don't have no charge.
My
I believe you.
That was like a very clean.
Oh, you don't like the camera. You are shy.
Kenny is my godson. I've known his family a little over 20 years. I met Kenneth's mom at NIH. She was friends with my parents, and her mom and my dad were really good friends. And my parents retired from the government, and they opened a daycare center. And she became pregnant, and she asked could little Kenneth be their first child. So we literally have known him for 21 years. I think he's 21 now. He had his mom and dad for a while, and then his parents separated, and he stayed with his mom and his brother. But my parents and myself, we were like really instrumental in his life, because we were like, after his grandmother passed away, we were like the other side of his family. He stayed with us a lot. And that's probably why we're so close now. He's kind of, you know, Christmases would come and we would do Christmas shopping for him. And then he stayed in my parents' child care until he was about 4. And so weekends he would stay with us. And I think it was a little tough for him, just the whole division between his mom and his dad. He was a daddy's boy. His dad loved him, but then I think just in life when things just sporadically go haywire, it just kind of changes the whole gamut of your childhood, and I think that kind of may have affected him a lot, just not having his dad around when at a point they were really, really close. I've noticed that just in that moment, and as he's grown, he has been so affected that he does kind of withdraws and kind of stays to himself and not really allow himself to emotionally just let go and just, you know, be able to just move on. So we got a phone call that his dad had gone into cardiac arrest at the hospital, and I think actually before anyone had really gotten there, his dad had passed. For Kenneth, I think part of the emotional part was him and his dad never really reconnected the way that I think both of them thought they would. So many times his father would reach out to me wanting that connection, or just wanting me to kind of buffer the relationship between him and his son and Kenneth and his mom. And he would just always say, you know, take care of my son. But we just didn't know that he was sick, because he didn't tell us that, you know, he had some health conditions. So then it was just another barrier for Kenneth to cross, because now we're that point where he needed to talk to his dad, and he needed to have a conversation with him. It's a conversation now that he can never have. It has to be like that inner healing and that inner movement that he has to have within himself, and just, you know, just pray that God will allow him to heal without having that personal conversation with his dad. He lived with a family that had been just extremely amazing to him, and they were like these guardian angels that kind of saved the day. And at first he was there just on the weekend sometime and just hanging out, and then it went from that to staying a few weeks, and then it went from that to him he ended up just moving in, and they really just accepted him with complete open arms, and they have just been complete godsend for Kenneth. And unfortunately, Gwen she just never allowed that connection between them to foster again, and so he's just been there. He's just been with Ian's parents ever since.
And one of the things that Lee said to him when he moved in, he said, if you're going to live here, then you have to make music. You have to do your thing if you're going to be here. And so he does his thing.
When I'm 23, I know I'ma lay up. I was on my knees every time I prayed up. I was so weak, God took the weight up. He said, follow me, it's the only way up. To living out my dreams, I don't want to wake up. I don't wanna sleep, I just wanna stay up. Every day I'm getting paid, motherfucker, pay up. You don't know that I've been down when I ain't pay my bills on time. I've been down when it was dark, I couldn't see the sunshine.